We hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, on the home of the brave?
And that was Alyssa Dale of Concert Choir. Welcome in, everybody, to tonight's matchup here on the Erie Tiger Network. It's the Erie Tigers versus the Windsor Wizards. Brandon Bird here with you, and we have an exciting one here for you tonight, so sit back and... All right, and they are announcing the starting lineups tonight here at Tigers Stadium between these two Tri-Valley teams. And speaking of the Tri-Valley, it's a big one tonight in terms of a finish in the league standings. There is a small, slim chance that Erie wins the Tri-Valley. They'd have to win tonight, and Holy Family would have to drop two of them, as the only loss that Erie has in league play is to Holy Family. But Erie sitting at 4-1, Windsor at 3-1. They're both behind Holy Family at 4-0, Loveland at 2-1, and so Erie part of the cream of the crop here this year in terms of the Tri-Valley. Of course, they had a huge upset over Loveland. That is their only loss of the season. And the Tigers coming off two huge wins, a 9-0 win against Roosevelt and a 10-0 win at Berthoud. So 19-0 in their last two combined. And, you look at this Windsor team, and maybe not as strong as we've seen from Windsor teams in the past. 6-5 on the year. They're still 3-1 in league play. You look at who they played: an overtime loss to Pooter, Rocky Mountain, Fossil Ridge, Thompson Valley. Some pretty good soccer programs mixed in there. And they lost 1-0 to Holy Family, but they're on a 3-game winning streak. They knocked off Frederick 5-1, they knocked off Berthoud 11-1, and they knocked off Skyline 3-0. So they're coming in here pretty hot themselves. As we said, they've had a tough schedule, and they are needing a win tonight for sure. If you look at the RPI here in the 4A soccer standings, and I beg your pardon, Windsor is no longer 4A. They are a 5A team. Okay, there we go. That's what was confusing me just a little bit. But Windsor, a 5A school this year. That's why they're playing a bunch of 5A teams, still in kind of a 5A, 4A, 3A league. Lots of different teams. If you're wondering, by the way, about top 10, Erie would be sitting in 12th right now, according to their votes. They have 4 votes, and sitting in 12th, Loveland holds the 10 spot, Holy Family the 8, if that kind of gives you an idea of how good the upper echelon is. In Battle Mountain, Golden, Skyview, Silver Creek, Air Academy, and Alameda. Lewis Palmer, even at 7th, has 1 number 1 vote, so lots of good teams in 4A soccer this year, but we'll have a good matchup tonight, a matchup that might determine who finishes second in the Tri-Valley. Beg your pardon. As put 40 minutes on the clock, both teams coming out. And the Tigers wearing their black uniforms with black socks, black shorts, all black. Windsor wearing the maroon shorts with the white jerseys and maroon numbers outlined in Vegas gold, as that is always officially part of their, or at least that's what it used to be listed on the Max Preps in terms of their official school colors. Vegas gold. I think it might just be officially labeled as gold now. Anyways, both teams taking the field. Erie will be going from left to right in half number one. An interesting change here in this game. The Windsor bench is actually on the opposite side of the field than we're used to seeing here on a broadcast in the soccer stadium. And I didn't get a chance to ask Coach Vigil if that was his move, that he made the change, or if that's just circumstance, or if that was a Windsor request. Either way, an interesting little wrinkle into this game. Shouldn't factor in too much. We'll talk more about RPI and playoff as this game goes on. But Zach Crooks will kick it off here for the Tigers as they start with the ball and possession, and quickly Windsor applying some pressure, and a foul coming up to play. That one is we don't have him on our Windsor roster. We'll try and chase down another Windsor roster here. Always this late in the season, some numbers switch, some players switch, so we'll try and figure that out for you. Windsor trying to attack here, top of the box, and headed on out. And out of bounds for a Wizard throw-in on what is turned out to be a fine Erie evening after a little cold burst that came in Thursday of last week. Weather's shaped back up, and it's a pretty good one here tonight, as that one is miscued. Played into the box, though, and cleared out by the Tigers. Windsor said 6-5. Erie looking good at 8-4, and you already heard us say 4-1 league play, but 8-4 overall. They knocked off a huge upset of Loveland, who was ranked in the top 4 at the time. That is their only loss all season, as that one is corralled out of bounds. Just under 39 minutes left in this first half. Just over a minute played so far. So far, Windsor with the early possession, and they try and clear or center one in the box, and that one is cleared away. Blake Nemeth, always so strong in the central back role for the Tigers. Every time we've gotten a chance to watch him, he has been really strong back there centrally for Erie. Goal kick coming here for the Tigers. Possession exchange at midfield. Erie will settle down with Fitzjohn. Played out wide, and a little through ball with too much weight, and the offside flag. Nope, the out of bounds flag was up. Just sailed over out of bounds line there. Not quite as early of a start as what we saw when USA played Cuba than the last week. They had a goal 30 seconds in. Tigers trying to gather position here. Foul on the Wizards, and possession to the Tigers. That was Zach Higgins that was knocked down there, playing a little bit of left back. Zach, a sophomore, younger brother of Jackson Higgins. You might remember that name. Ball sent in toward the Windsor third. Was headed around, and a couple of Tigers just lost sight of it. Erie really hasn't settled it down for a crisp possession yet, as this one played all the way into the box before it was finally picked up by Hollis. Ball sent toward midfield. Windsor on the attack. Windsor top of the box. A left-footed shot by Davidson is partially blocked and cleared away. Now played back in. By the way, that player we don't have on our roster with the flowing hair, Jean-Marie Ingranata. There you go. And a foul on Erie or on Windsor. Coming in, cleats up was Matt Hansen. Jean-Marie Ingranata looking a little bit like Josh Meekles out there. Not so much with the hair, but undoubtedly a foreign-born player here for Windsor. Five minutes gone by, no score here in the first half. Windsor trying to settle it down there. Back onto the Erie side. That was Sorrell with it. Plays it back for Nemeth. Tigers trying to get crafty in the midfield instead of turnover here, and almost a chance for Windsor. Just couldn't quite corral it was Ingranata. Now Windsor with it, far side of the box. Little sliding save to keep it in. Now a right-footed cross is knocked away, and Tigers still trying to clear, and they do. Finally up toward midfield. Tigers just really haven't settled down on possession yet. As there's a throw-in for Erie. The back line for Erie under a little bit of pressure from these Windsor forwards. See if they can start to handle it. The midfield just hasn't been able to quite corral possession so far in this one. Ball played up toward the sideline. And another Erie throw coming. Xander Fernandez looking to throw it in. Trying to find Crooks, and that was headed out. And Erie will slowly but surely move it up the field via throw-in here. Trying to find Hudson was Fernandez that time, and a foul. So Tigers inching their way via throw-ins and fouls. And they'll have a free kick here. This one quite a bit away from goal. 37 yards plus the angle. We'd need to bust out the Pythagorean theorem to figure out the exact distance from this shot. Curler in toward the top of the box. That's safely headed away, and a little miscue there. It's a 2-on-1 here for the Wizards. Trying to get back. Some Tigers, a 2-on-2 and a good defensive play once again by Nemeth. That is why you have him back there, is Nemeth, as he has been so strong as a sweeper and handled that little odd man rush, if you will, with some class. That one headed toward the opposite side of the box and finally just chunked out of there and up the field by Sorrell. Tigers have yet to have a touch in the Windsor box in the first 7.5 minutes of this one. Long throw in. Ball will squirt free and played out toward Fernandez. Now Hudson gets it hacked away from behind. Tigers still, their first touch has just been a little bit sloppy here tonight. As there's a ball played into the box, but too much weight behind it from Ingranata. And a free or a goal kick here for the Tigers. 31-31 remaining here in half number one. No score between Windsor and Erie. Fans, don't forget to follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook the Erie Tiger Media page. Follow us on Twitter at Erie Tiger Media, or check out our new Instagram as well. Always have some weekly updates as to what's going on. We'll let you know when the stream starts. Also, definitely subscribe to this YouTube channel. That will always give you a notification every time we hit the airwaves, as that was Erie's best chance and just couldn't quite corral it in his feet. That time was Evan Hudson. But a deep throw in on their own defensive side is Zach Fendley. Tigers trying to keep it in here. Now Wolver with it. Nice little pass up to Harbaugh, and Harbaugh just couldn't quite stop that from getting away from him, and that was by far the best chance of the night so far for the Tigers. Seems like the last minute or so, things have just slowed down a bit for them. 10 minutes into this one now. By the way, our camera person tonight, sophomore Connor McGeehan. Special thanks for him for doing the camera work. He's part of this Erie soccer program. And we have a bloody nose, so we're going to have our first sub of the night. That means Samuel Folk will come into the game.
Injury substitution in for the Tigers. Number 1, Sam Folk.
Xander Fernandez just came off holding his nose, and he's going to have to get that cleaned up before it goes back in. Not quite the same as blood time during wrestling. Folk in there now in the midfield, was mixing it up there. Ball stopped at the top of the box here by Windsor. The left-footed shot will roll in toward the corner, but scooped up that time by Hollis. Davidson tried to settle it down there for the Wizards. Both teams kind of exchanging possession here, just on the outer edge of Erie's third. Tigers with a nice pass there from Crooks, trying to get it to Hudson, one man to beat, and just couldn't quite do it. Didn't get a clean enough first touch on a very good pass by Crooks. Now Folk has it. A little 1-2 with Harbaugh. Sends a low one in toward Hudson, and that had to be cleared away. And the Tigers earn a corner. So after the first 9 minutes or so, dominated by the Wizards, Tigers have had a couple better looks here in the Windsor third. Quick corner here. Harbaugh stepping in. Low shot. Partially blocked. Rebound. It hits the crossbar of the field goal post and pings downward. And a chance there, just couldn't quite cash in that time. I believe that was Jeff Fitzjohn who found that one on his left foot. Floater in toward the midfield, and Fitzjohn couldn't settle that one down. Throw in here for the Wizards. That's Fendley with it, trying to get it up toward his large target up there. Now Wolver trying to settle it down. Little touch pass into the middle. Better possession here from the Tigers the last few minutes. Just a little bit more patient, playing it backward if need be. And keeping possession through the midfield. Always at a premium here in high school soccer. There's a foul on the Wizards, and Nemeth will take the free kick here. Send this in toward the top of the Windsor box. It was played on backward toward Folk, just a little bit off target, and here come the Wizards trying to counter. They've had a couple good counter opportunities. Fendley with it, and nowhere to be found. And Nemeth will just send it out safely. little touch on by Fitzjohn, taken back by the Wizards. Trying to build up again here. That was Sakarassian. They got fouled. At least that's our best attempt at decoding that name. Long free kick. Kind of going back and forth here, and they'll call a foul on Folk, and so now Windsor will get a free kick. 25-26 left here in this first half. For any Tiger fans looking to buy or sell a home, Jen Elliston is the perfect fit for you. She prides herself in helping every family find a house that perfectly fits their needs. Jen's been helping people buy and sell real estate in the Denver metro area and surrounding areas since 2013. Whether you're looking to buy a new home, sell a current home, or buy an investment property, Jen Elliston Realty can help you meet your goals. Visit her online today at JenEllistonRealty.com. Not quite halfway through this first half, and really neither team has had a quality shot. And now the referee going to come over and have a chat with the Wizards captain. Wearing the armband tonight is Zachary Finley, playing left back, trying to mark right now Evan Hudson, as this one is sent into the midfield. Tigers gather, try to sneak it forward. A lot of exchange of possession here. Now a chance for the Tigers. Played up on the far side, looking for Harbaugh. First foot to it, center, cross! Oh, and just beyond the outstretched toes of Evan Hudson. A good try there from Harbaugh. Just a little too strong. Now a throw in deep into the box. Folk with it. He'll cue it on a little bit waywardly, and Fitzjohn trying to track it down, tried to heel flick it off to a teammate. That was Zach Higgins. And the Tigers with their best chance right there. Probably the most quality look we've had this game, but just a whisker too strong there for Hudson to ultimately touch it coming from the far post. Smart play there by Nemeth. Just play it back to your own goalie. Release the pressure. That's a lot of what playing defense and passing out of the midfield is. And, a big hit and a yellow card. And they're going to give that yellow to Matisse Sarakasen. I don't know if that's exactly how you say it, but Sakarasen.
Yellow card is sent to the Windsor Wizards. 22:43 remaining in the first half. Yellow card to number 7, Matisse Sakarisian.
Sakarisian. We'll go with what Andy McClure says. Our partner in crime here on the other side of the booth. All right, Sakarisian. That's how you say the name. Wizards trying to counter. Wizards playing high-pressure ball early in this game, as this one is straight up in the box. Folk gets the head to it and just couldn't put it home. Cued it out wide was Folk. But the Wizards in the first 7-8 minutes of this, as they'll bring on their first two subs of the game. Owen Brendhoft coming in along with Tim Bosch.
Also at number 14, Tim Bosch.
I was going to say that anyways, they've been They were applying pressure early. Now they're almost kind of sitting back, waiting for a counter opportunity, are the Wizards. Tigers have really packed the numbers in the midfield. That's why once they started kind of connecting some better passes in that midfield, started playing a little better and see some tic-tac-toe passing there. Just a little too strong, that last pass off to Harbaugh from Cole Manuel. 21:07 remaining here in the first half of play. No score yet. Erie probably with the best chance on an Evan Harbaugh cross toward Evan Hudson. Now across toward the near side of the box and chipped, deflected in toward Hollis, and he'll pick it up. Mentioned the Tigers 8-4 on the year. Zach Crooks, Evan Hudson, each with 11 goals on the season. The Tigers with 43. If you remember just a couple years ago, man, the Tigers really struggled to put the ball in the net. And just in their last 2 games alone, as we mentioned, 19 total goals. It's just a different feel the last couple of years under Coach Vigil as this program continues to get better and better year in and year out. And he said a lot more of our players are playing club soccer in the spring, and that has really helped these guys perform better when fall rolls around. And still pretty young. I mean, your 2 leading goal scorers are both sophomores. Your 3rd leading scorer is a junior. In terms of the scoring punch, only Manuel in the top 8 on this team in scoring is a senior. Everyone else pretty much be returning next year. So always good to see. Their top D-man, Blake Nemeth, only a junior. So just feels like the future's bright for this Erie soccer program. 18:50 remaining here in half number 1. Still no score, as the Wizards and Tigers have exchanged possession a lot here in the midfield. Now Folk with it, trying to attack the left side. He'll cross it with the left foot. Low crosser, cleared out of the 6-yard area. Now Crooks trying to gather. He'll lay it off. Stepping into one was Fitzjohn, but he just had it poked away at the last second. Fitzjohn came in and tried to lay on a real cracker, and that was just barely tipped away. Now Folk again, left-footed shot will roll and be picked up in net here for the Wizards. And I believe that might be Erie's first actual shot on goal. As Erie starting to spend a lot more time here in the Windsor 3rd. Last 15 minutes have been pretty solid here for the Tigers. Wolver looking to throw into the box. Harbaugh just a little bit too tall for Evan. And picked up at another kind of loose ball that bounced once or twice in the box. Always feel like that happens. You have a shot at just deflecting something in. Wizards trying to counter here as the ball came out to the left wing. Now up the sideline for the Wizards is Burnett. Tried to center across. Now a shot just sails a little high, and a good chance there for Burnett. He got the counter started and then was waiting right at the top of the 18 and just sent it a little high. Hudson trying to sneak one through, and here comes Crooks with it. Crooks trying to keep it at his feet, being surrounded by 3 or 4 white shirts, and he will get tripped up and a foul called. So Crooks draws a foul from 40 yards from the net, but good spot here for a set piece. Erie sending numbers right to the top of the box. They've got 8 men down there. Little chip toward the goalie and a little bit too strong, and Boomham easily gathers. Now Windsor again on the counter. They've had a lot of counter chances as Nemeth will clear that one away. As Erie started to kind of press their midfielders up toward the Windsor third. That's left a little bit of gap between the midfield and the back line for the Tigers, and Windsor's tried to counter a couple times. Now Crooks trying to sneak one up to Hudson. He'll harass along the back line, and I think that was touched by a Wizard, and they will call a goal kick. I thought Windsor might have been last to touch that, and here comes the sub in for the Wizards. With 15:08 remaining here in half number 1.
Substitution for Windsor, number 5, Matthew Hanson.
Now Windsor trying to settle it down from up top. Kind of that holding strikers Colton Hedinger. If you're wondering where the firepower comes for Windsor, at least on Max Preps, and I only say this because I mentioned in Granada, he's listed on the roster but has no stats or anything, and just find that hard to believe. Hudson, a little turnaround with the left foot, just couldn't quite get enough mustard on it. Hedinger with 7 goals, Burnett with 7 goals, only 31 as a team for the Wizards. So Erie has definitely packed much stronger of a scoring punch so far. In fact, you look at Erie and where they kind of stand in terms of the RPI. Erie sitting at 23rd right now. Just a shade behind Palmer Ridge. This would be a nice win to add to their resume. 32 teams make the playoffs. The 23rd seed, essentially. If the playoffs were today, it's possible Erie might have to play Loveland. That's kind of where they sit right now, and always got to feel confident knowing, hey, we've already knocked off a top 10 team. And you carry that confidence with you into the playoffs, saying, hey, we feel like we could beat anyone. Long through ball. Nice step over, a shot with the right foot, and that was ripped, but just high and wide. Tigers a little bit lucky there, almost got caught on the counter. And Zakarassian just put a little too much weight behind that one. Lean back maybe a hair too much. They always want you to get your weight forward over the ball, keep that ball down. You lean back, that's when you start to sky it upward. Now Crooks with some good speed. Try to chip it in toward net. And then a foul coming and a yellow card. Was that on the Wizards? And it was. And did that come from the box? That's the other question. Will this be a penalty kick? No, they're saying it's literally just outside the edge of the box. And
26 remaining first half, yellow card.
And the yellow card was given a number 4 for Windsor. And
To number 4, Matthew Louder, 12:26.
That was Matthew Launer, who was listed as 47 on my roster. So, all right, good to know. But a very dangerous piece right from the edge of the box here for Erie. This will be a good opportunity for them. I mean, that thing is pretty much touching the 18. Tigers sending guys on angling runs. Referee still hasn't blown anything for play, but Wolver's just running all over the place. Here comes the low driving kick. Rebound. Skied over the net. Wolver was sitting home backdoor. That was actually Manuel. Oh, man, and a great chance there for the Tigers, and they couldn't quite capitalize. It was a low-driven free kick, and the goalie gave up the juicy rebound and just couldn't quite sneak it in. Now Windsor trying to once again counter. That's been their game here the last half of this half. 11:42, and a steal there for Erie. And a long chip goes over. Couple subs set to check in here for the Erie Tigers. Jacob Marcoux will check in. And Evan Hudson, and Pierce Sherry will check into the game for Manuel and Sorrell. So one midfielder and one on the back line. Have yet to see Fernandez, or has he checked back in? He is out there. Must have just missed that when he picked up the bloody nose. Had to come out real quick. 10:55 left to go here in half number 1. How about having all your insurance needs under one roof? Let State Farm's Jeannie Holst take care of all your insurance needs. Jeannie's been serving the Erie community for almost 17 years and would like to serve you as well. Give Jeannie a call today at 303-828-4002 or visit online at jeannieholst.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Windsor, 2 yellow cards so far in this one. And another ticking off there from the official. And, man, that last yellow card, I mean, that was dangerously close to being a penalty kick for Windsor. Almost turned into an Erie goal anyway. Nemeth will sky it. Crooks trying to get to it, and he'll head it out of bounds. Zach Crooks, the younger brother of Cameron Crooks, who we saw get a couple carries in Friday night's football game. We have a busy week on the Erie Tiger Network this week. Soccer today. We will have Erie Idol tomorrow, and on Friday we'll follow the football team out to Niwot. As that one just glides out of bounds, and a throw-in coming for Erie, and another sub coming in for the Tigers as well. That'll be Ryan Giordano.
Now into the lineup, number 2, Ryan Giordano.
He'll come in for Sam Folk. Windsor on the attack now. They've been dangerous a couple times from that spot, and a miscue defensively, but luckily the Tigers there to clear it away. 8:35 remaining here in half number 1. Still no one unable to break the scoreless tie. They're clear there for Erie. Windsor starting to look a little more dangerous than they have the last 10 or 15 minutes. And a couple subs. In fact, 4 subs coming on for the Wizards.
The Wizards 20, Zachary
Their captain, Finley, back on. Throwing in toward the box, bouncing. And Erie is first to it. A little bit dangerous there for the Tigers. That bounced all the way through the box. Now Giordano trying to settle it down. Harbaugh kicked it right back to the Wizards midfielder. Tigers trying to regroup here. Findlay with it. Gets it poked for a second. Now we'll lay it off. And good job defensively that time for the Tigers. Fresh legs and pure Sherry. Now Sherry making a run. In fact, Sherry just missed touching that one. That was the end of about a 30-yard sprint from Pierce, barreling through the midfield. Always liked that about high school and college soccer in the U.S. The pretty much free substitutions, just back and forth. Get fresh legs on there. I think it adds a little more quality than guys that have been out there for 65, 70 minutes before they finally get subbed off for good from the game. Wolver trying to get it. And the referee started to raise his flag, and he put it down. Wolver streaking up the sidelines. And a foul will be called on Windsor. So a dangerous set piece coming here for Erie. This is going to be just outside the 18 near the sideline. Andy McClure says the referee pulled out a yellow and then decided to stick it back in. Maybe it was a moral support for the linesman who started to raise his flag and then put it back down. So free kick coming. It's going to be Harbaugh to take this one. Referee marking off where it's 10 yards. Tigers with plenty of men forward. Harbaugh sends a low one. Hit it on and in! And a beautiful goal for the Tigers. And they take the lead 1-0. We'll take another look at this one as, man, that was perfectly played in by Harbaugh. And you see, boom, headed right underneath the crossbar. And a goal there, and I think that was Jeff Fitzjohn that buried that one.
5:16 remaining in the first half. Goal for the Tigers, number 9.
And so the Tigers, on the goal by Jeff Fitzjohn, take the lead. So the set pieces kept coming for Erie, and they had a couple good chances earlier, and they finally capitalized on a beautiful, low-driven cross by Evan Hudson, and then the perfect header by Fitzjohn. We got a good look at that one, too, on our replay. That one is chipped in toward the top of the box. Wolver with it, back to the goal. Long shot, buries it in the corner. 2 goals in the blink of an eye for the Tigers. Oh, man. How about those fireworks? You saw Wolver. He just held up nicely with his back to the goal, played it into the open spot, and a nice crack. That's fun to see right there. And I'm trying to figure out who it was that buried that one. I think that might have been Jeff Fitzjohn again, but we'll have to take another look at the replay. We're going back and checking our replay here. Just our camera zoomed out to get all the action, and sure enough, that was Fitzjohn again.
Tiger goal, 4:39 remaining in the first half. His second on the night, number 9, Jeff Fitzjohn, assist 14, Brady Wolver.
So with 3:55 left to go in this first half, Fitzjohn with a pair of goals. And he scores goals number 4 and 5 on the season here with those two. And they lead it 2-0 here against the mighty Wizards, who have always been a nemesis in just about every sport for Erie the last few years. And the gap has been slowly closing. And Erie on the better end of it so far, at least, as there's another foul. And the official saying a little bit too aggressive there by Matt Hansen. Man, how about that hold up, though, by Wolver? Settled it down, back to the goal, found Fitzjohn, and great shot by Fitzjohn. Long play up into the Windsor box. 2:45 remaining here in half number 1. Wolver with it. Tried to chip it on and got underneath it, had some backspin and rolled right to a Wizard. Trying to get around him was Hettinger, but he knocked it out of bounds. He slams the ball in frustration. Referee giving him a little bit of a chat. Wizard crowd traveled pretty well for this one. Wizards have a passionate following in Windsor. That might be a little bit of an understatement. That kind of little slice of land up there. You have Windsor and Eaton, two of the more passionate fan bases you'll see in Colorado, sometimes for better or worse. $90 left in this one, in this first half, as there's a dangerous ball in, and a good job clearing that one away. Wizards have sent some crosses into the box, but they haven't been able to get on the end of any of them. And big collision there, and no yellow card, but another tough challenge there from the Wizards. 2-0 lead, though, for the Tigers. We'll have highlights of both those goals at halftime during our Miners halftime show in 54 seconds and a commercial break. High chipped ball headed, and one handing that is Hollis, as Hettinger just couldn't quite get enough on it, just kind of scraped the side of the ball. That was dangerously sent up there. Now a bouncer up toward the Wizard back line, and it gets misplayed. Now Crooks with it in the box. Crooks the long shot with the left foot, a good one in, and a nice save there by Bauma. Or Booma, not quite sure. I beg your pardon, that's Seth Ellingson. All I saw was the 1 on his jersey, and he fully turned his back, and then Andy McClure saying, hey, number 16. And that should do it. So a good first half for the Tigers. 2-0. They lead it as they head to the sidelines for halftime. We'll take a timeout here. We'll be back with some highlights and then the second half here on the Erie Tiger Network.
You have a plan in place for your family's future in the event something happens to you. Are you caring for aging parents, grandparents, or a loved one with special needs? The Germany law firm named 2017 Erie's Chamber Business of the Year provides expert legal guidance and peace of mind for you and your family in the areas of probate, elder law, and estate planning. Visit Germany Law Firm's Erie Village office or website at coelderlaw.net to set up a personalized consultation.
You are watching the ETN.
Are you looking to buy or sell a new home? Jen McGurk, an experienced real estate agent serving Erie, Vista Ridge, and the surrounding Denver area. For years, Jen has assisted all types of buyers and sellers with their real estate needs. Give Jen a call today at 303-949-3331 or check out Jen Realty online at jenrealty.com.
Have you ever wanted to support the Erie Tiger Network, the student media arm of Erie High School? Well, now you can. We have set up a Patreon page. There's a way for you to send us a monthly pledge in order to provide funding for the program, as well as get access to reward tiers. As a Tiger fan, you get the satisfaction in knowing you are helping out your favorite local media organization. As a member of the ETN fan club, you are officially recognized on air and can receive ETN goodies throughout the year. As an in-broadcast red sponsor, you get to sponsor a specific segment of any broadcast. For more information, email bird_brandon at sbbsd.org. This is a $25 per month commitment. As an appreciator of Erie's live broadcast of the weekly news, you can help support this program by becoming one of our patrons by going to bit.ly/ETN Patreon.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
In Erie, talk to State Farm agent Jeannie Hulse.
Do you want a better smile, have a broken bracket, or are you a teenager in need of some braces? Then make your way down to Caraway Orthodontics. They are located in Louisville and Erie. Caraway Orthodontics supports Erie High School and its community. Come in and gain a beautiful smile for children, teens, and adults. They also provide Invisalign. Call this number 303-828-0454 or go to carawayortho.com.
For the card-carrying fan, get your CU Visa debit card so you can take the game with you. Free with First National Bank's free checking.
You are watching the ETN.
Click the search bar on the top right-hand corner of the screen and search up Erie Tiger Network. Click the channel icon and then press the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications about when we post. Click the thumbs up icon to like the video. To enter full screen mode, press the icon on the bottom right hand corner. To skip forward or backwards 10 seconds, double tap the left or right hand side of the screen. Press the pause button in the middle of the screen to pause the video. To skip to a different video, press the skip button when the video is paused.
Jeff Foxworthy here. You know, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, thing is, there's a lot more to say. Like if you've ever found yourself burning yard debris and then walking away, well, you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Front Range Landfill puts all your needs in front of everything else. Front Range Landfill won Erie Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year Award, as well as being featured on national television. We are very proud of our facility and we welcome the opportunity to address your disposal needs. Our focus is on customer service. We strive to achieve easy and rapid access in and out of the facility. We feel certain that we will exceed your expectations of your solid waste disposal requirements. Choose Front Range Landfill for all your landfill needs. You will be pleased.
Go to where your friends are. Go to where the action's at. Go find your sense of adventure. Go Airheads, Airsoft Field and Store located in Erie, Colorado. Go Airheads and go Tigers.
At www.prismyoga.com for more details or find us on Facebook today. At Clark Legal Services, we believe that our purpose as a trusted advisor for our clients goes far beyond giving clients directions. We believe that attorneys play an important role in society, whether participating in a pro bono case to protect an important issue or volunteering your time to educate your group about the legal process. We believe in giving back to our community. For more information, check out ClarkLegalServices.com. First National Bank is proud to be here.
And welcome back in here at halftime on the Erie Tiger Network. A 2-0 lead here for the Tigers as we're getting close to rolling into the second half. But, man, we had a couple really good goals there at the end of that first half. Let's take a look at those. Marking off where it's 10 yards. Tigers with plenty of men forward. Harbaugh sends a low one, hit it on and in! And a beautiful goal for the Tigers! And they take the lead 1-0. 2 on our replay. That one is chipped in toward the top of the box. Wolver with it, back to the goal. Buries it in the corner! 2 goals in the blink of an eye for the Tigers! And you saw both goals there from Jeff Fitzjohn for the Tigers. And, man, a really great header and a really great shot from about 22 yards or so out. And that's the difference in this one. Both of those coming late in the first half. And what a good end it was. That halftime show was brought to you by Miners. Be sure to check out Miners on Brick Street for the best post-game in town. Sorry, we just had to wait a moment there to let our cameraman back into the press box as the Tigers set to start half number 2. Mentioned both those goals by Fitzjohn. We already said goals 4 and 5 on the season. So good to see Jeff grabbing a couple more. As we roll into half number 2 here, we'll switch sides. Erie this time going right to left, as Windsor will open with possession. So that was the one thing, though. Windsor's had a solid defense all year, but their offense has lacked a little bit of punch. And so you'll wonder if they'll have the firepower to try and claw their way back into this. We haven't seen a ton of great shots put on. We've seen some decent crosses sent in, but crosses that haven't been able to find Windsor boots. Now Erie, good little opening spurt here. A through ball up to Harbaugh, back to Manuel. Steps to his right, hits one that's deflected, and this one will roll out, but a corner kick coming. So good little burst of a start here for the Tigers in the first half minute. And now they've been pretty lethal on set pieces, so let's see what they do here. All the way, that far corner, high arcing cross toward the far edge of the 6-yard box. And here we'll get a throw in here, as that was just cue balled out. Now throw toward the top of the box. Stolen there, shot low, but couldn't get enough of it. That time for the Tigers, that was Zach Higgins with a look. Didn't quite catch all of it. Erie, they look pretty sharp here through the first minute and a half of this one. Through ball touched up the left side. Windsor still on the attack here. And they're kind of mixing it up down there in that corner. And he'll call a foul on the Wizards. And Erie will get the free kick. Don't forget to like this video. That always helps us. And subscribe to Erie Tiger Network. That way you get notifications of all the event settings when they happen. Wolver with it. He had the nice assist on that second goal. It was Evan Harbaugh that had the assist on the first. So the Tigers have had some good passing in that final third, setting up 2 really good goals. Throw in here for the Wizards. And a discussion here on the far sideline between the referee and an Erie player, that's Wolver, and a Windsor player. It got maybe just a hair chippy in that first half, so a couple yellow cards on Windsor, so referee trying to control things before the fire gets lit. Now a turnaround shot by Harbaugh, just ran out of steam before it got to the goalie Ellingson. Now played off here on the near sideline. Windsor with it. Folk will send it out. Neither team really had a quality look so far here in the first few minutes of this half. Erie did not start the first 8 minutes of this game were not played very crisply, and then the light kind of came on, and they've gotten stronger and stronger as this game has gone on. Thrawn will throw it into the box. Good defense that time. Who else? Nemeth. He is, or actually that was Fitzjohn. He's just been everywhere today. Talking with Andy McClure during the halftime. Sometimes as there's a foul and a yellow card, and that's the third one of the night for the Wizards, and they are not happy, arguing with the official, and they're going to call that one on Trevor Davis. So Davis sent to the sideline here. That is the third yellow card on Windsor.
Number 6, Trevor Davis. Davis yellow card, 35-14 remaining, second half.
And that's an easy yellow for the official because Erie had a chance on the counter, and you foul on a clear counter chance. That's pretty much an automatic yellow, regardless of how hard the foul is. Good little heel flick to himself. Far side of the box. Centering cross just gets through the wickets. And Manuel's there to clear it out. Ooh, a handball, and it is called on the Wizards. Tim Bosch was the one that just kind of had his arm hanging out. Not really his fault, just was kicked right into it. But arm outside the frame of the body, stops the ball, redirects it. That'll be a handball as long as it's caught every time. Now that ball high arcing toward Crooks, trying to head it on. And a little too much steam behind it. And a little bit of a risky play there by Ellingson. He wanted to keep that in play and get into a counter maybe instead of a goal kick. He'll boot this one high. Kind of a crosswind on the field tonight. As we said, a little chilly now, but it's still a great night for soccer. As Hollis will come up and pick it up. Crooks trying to battle for possession. Finally gets it, but lays it off to a Wizard, and a good cutoff there for Erie. And a defensive play. And 3 up top for the Tigers tonight have been sharp. We haven't heard as much from Evan Hudson as we usually do, as they've really tried marking him, but Harbaugh's had a good cross, and Crooks has been just kind of a thorn in the flesh of that Windsor back line. Into the box, headed out. 33 minutes remaining here in half number 2. A 2-0 lead for the Tigers. And in what was a very entertaining end to that first half. Volk, a couple really strong-footed clears. Trying to step up was Higgins and swipe that one. They'll just cue it wide for a Windsor throw-in. They'll try and throw it in quick. Hettinger with it in the box. Sends it across the 6-yard box and cleared away by the Tigers. Dangerous look there for Windsor. Now again from outside the box, and again the Tigers dispose of it. Tigers have cleaned the garbage out of the box all night long. Done a good job in that department. Windsor hasn't had a real good crack on net. They've had some decent chances, but that back line for the Tigers has been strong tonight. Hollis really hasn't been tested for a big save. Ball ping-ponging around in the midfield. Windsor will come up with it. Laid on for Burnett. Right back to Windsor. Windsor fans wanted a call there. And another strong play from behind. And I think the Windsor, either a coach or a fan, is going to get a chat with the official. The official's going to stop the clock. There's the yellow card, and I think it's to a fan, but it's hard to tell from here exactly who was given that yellow card. So just charge, I guess, to the Windsor bench.
Of the second half to the Windsor bench. 31:01 remaining in the second half. Yellow card to the Windsor bench.
So that makes for 4 yellow cards tonight. Tell you what, won't be too hard for Wizards to pick up a red here if they're not careful. Then they'd play 10 on 11. And when you're down 2, that's the last thing you want. Good set piece spot here coming for the Wizards. They'll run a play off of it, chipped in toward the far side of the box. And, you know, from where that ball was, as there's another cross sent in, I'd like to see a shot on net. I don't know about the little layoff to the outside of the box on a bad angle and a cross. You got a clear shot from outside the 18, and the Wizards elect to run a little play off of it. Erie will certainly take it. We'll take it up here in the broadcast booth. That one is miscued. Windsor playing with a little bit of spice right now. You can just tell they're frustrated. They want a goal desperately. They are flying around in the Tiger third. Luckily, a little bit out of control, and they haven't really been able to tee one up. 10 minutes gone by, half an hour remaining in this contest between the Wizards and the Tigers. Low driving free kick. Neither team able to corral possession yet, and it'll be a Tiger throw-in. Wolver was chasing that one down. The official on that yellow card was pointing toward the stands, and you know there were some yells. I just don't know if that was a coach that said something or a fan, but either way, a yellow card was issued. Now, one thing CHSAA officials can do in all sports, kind of all sports have adopted a yellow-red card system, is any fan can get a yellow card this year for unsportsmanlike behavior, and that's a warning. And the second one, they are ejected from the game by an official, and that's kind of some powers that CHSAA has bestowed to the officials, because in 2019, it just seems like fans starting to get on officials a little more freely. Now corner coming here for the Tigers to the back post, headed and just missing a flick. I think that was Higgins that got ahead to it, and Crooks was trying to come in and tow it in and fell safely in the arms of Ellingson. High boot toward midfield. Now Thrawn with it. The sense of urgency is certainly there from the Wizards. It's up to the Tigers to stay poised on that back line. Good job. Fitzjohn will temporarily relieve the pressure. Now Higgins will step up. We said before, defense in soccer are all about just relieving pressure. Low pass across, and just had his wires crossed was Cole Davidson. He was breaking one way, and the ball came in behind him. And otherwise, he might have found himself alone at the doorstep. Instead, it'll be a corner kick for the Wizards. 27-41 remaining here in this one. Curler, low, sent in, headed right back to Hollis. Good header. Didn't have a great angle. Was Burnett, and Hollis just stuck out a paw and swiped it. Now Hollis will boot one far. That one will ride the wind a little. Hudson. Sends it back, and Folk will clear it off a Wizard and out of bounds. 2-0 Tigers, 27:05 remaining. Some good back and forth action the last 5 or 6 minutes in this one. And Windsor picking up the intensity. A couple more yellow cards for them. They're playing with a bit of pep in their step, and the Tigers trying to stay poised here, keep the ball out of the net. They haven't had a ton of possession of late in the Windsor third, but they've just done a good job cleaning up everything in the back. Throw in towards Hudson, who's kind of dropped into the midfield a little bit. Ball played up to Burnett, and Hudson doing a good job harassing him, and will force a throw in for the Wizards. Folk now playing right back for the Tigers. He's been active here in this half. Settled down here. Hettinger shot wide. And that's what we mean. They've had some possession. They've had some looks from the top of the box, but nothing that Hollis has had to lay out for. Hollis, though, with that nice little snag on the header on the corner. That was the best look for sure of the night for the Wizards. Now they'll play it back. A little bit of pressure coming here from Crooks. Low ball is sent through and out for a throw-in. Crooks forcing that one. Now headed up. Harbaugh trying to chase that one down. And a throw-in coming in real deep for Erie. They're going quick. Maybe a hair too quick. Now Erie trying to maintain possession. Nemeth will come up. Ooh, and Nemeth just flicked that one on. Good job backtracking there was Fitzjohn to cover Nemeth's little run up to midfield. Hollis really taking his time here. Boot another one, and that one really soaring. Wolver trying to chip one up for Crooks. Tigers have not really had a counter or breakaway opportunity, but they've done just fine. As there's a little header in the box, and ooh, that one was kicked out for a corner. That was testy for Cody Myers. And now Erie with a set piece, and that's where they've been the most dangerous tonight, have been off set pieces. So they'll take a corner. Tigers still 3 men back behind midfield, so they're not putting too many numbers forward. Curler, top of the box, headed, redirected, shot is just missed. Crooks tried to get it. He hit it off the side of his foot. I think it might have, nope, no deflection, but he's actually asking for a deflection. That's kind of what it looked like. Like he hit it off the side, and then it was just barely wiped out of bounds by a Wizard, but they'll say just miscued by Crooks. Good chance there for the Tigers, and once again showing why you don't want to give up a set piece to this Tiger team. Now headed on to Harbaugh, back to the goal, and good job by Windsor. That looked real dangerous for a second for the Tigers. Erie, good job picking that pocket. Might have been Marcoux in there. No, that was Evan Hudson. Evan Hudson's kind of sunk in. Playing a little more midfield here in the last few minutes. It's more of a attacking midfield role as opposed to kind of a 4-3-3, which is what we see at times from the Tigers with 3 forwards playing up top. And now even Crooks backtracking pretty deep. Tigers wanting maybe to park the bus a little bit here. You can sense that Windsor's playing with some desperation. Erie's been strong at the back. I think Erie happy to let Windsor kind of waste some time with some not so hot possessions while they're flustered. Just lacking that final quality pass in the final third tonight has been the story for Windsor. Two 2-0 lead for Erie, almost halfway through this second half. Erie's done a good job on throw-ins, just kind of matriculating the ball up the field. Couple subs set to come in for the Wizards. Wind picking up, getting a little more chilly. Crooks had it. Another throw-in coming for Erie. They've had solid possession. Now headed on by Harbaugh. Good thought toward the top of the box. Higgins tried to step over and touched it a little too strong on the first time. And Wizard was able to clear it away. Now Hettinger with it. Has a man streaking out wide. Cross to the near side. Windsor reversing field really well. Now chip to the top of the box. Diving for it is Hollis. I think that might have gone wide, but a good shot, and Hollis was there regardless. Wasn't able to quite squeeze it, though, and Windsor will have a corner kick.
Corner kick for the Wizards.
So Myers will take this corner. Wizards, a lot of people right at the top of the box that are going to be streaking right toward the net. Low driver shot was missed, and it almost fell to a Wizard, and just no one could settle it down for Windsor. Now Tigers with a little counter here. Hudson with it. Oh, and that one was just touched up on the back line. Otherwise, Crooks would have had a one-on-none as Hudson couldn't quite squeeze that ball out to Harbaugh. If that would have gone to Harbaugh, it would have been Zach Crooks on the other side of the field wide open, and he would have had a one-on-one with a goalie. Under 20 minutes to play now. Here in the second half, Tigers just need to hold on.
Wizards substitution. Number 39, Jean-Marie in Granada into the lineup.
In Granada back in now for the Wizards. Folk doing a good job on that back line. Been really strong out there at right back. We saw him kind of come to the midfield earlier. At least that's what it appeared. It's awesome. Now Wolver with it in the midfield. You only see it as a tiny little dot in the background, but the harvest moon tonight here in October, looking awesome. Definitely looks like Halloween here in Erie. 18 and a half minutes left. And that one will roll out, and that should be an Erie throw-in from deep in their own corner. Couple Tigers tracking back. Saw Evan Harbaugh, hands on his knees. He is played deep into that Windsor third for a forward, so he has been active. He'll lay a nice one off there, and that one will be sent up near midfield. Tigers ready to send a sub in. Let's see what they elect to do with this sub. That will be Xander Fernandez, and he will come in for Wolver. So some fresh legs in the midfield for the Tigers. Throw-in is hit out. Can't quite settle it down. Fitzjohn will pick it up, and he has it stolen right back. Now Hudson trying to corral it, and he does. And good job playing it back, and strong left foot out. Now Harbaugh almost picked that one up, and a chance here for the Tigers, a little bit of a counter. Nice overlapping run, the through ball up to Hudson, and just maybe a little bit more weight, and that would have connected with him. It was a great run by Hudson, and now Hudson, he is just beasting it up the left sideline. Ball high. Takes a awkward carom toward the Windsor net. Still on the ground. Crooks trying to get to it, and a good job by Ellingson to come up and pick it up. Now, Windsor had to get some people back, and Tigers, no real counter threat given up there. Good job by Erie. They had that attack really with only about 5 guys forward, and so when Windsor tried to counter, there just wasn't enough bodies up top. Now that ball sent deep into the Erie third, but a throw in. Some frustrated, tired legs out there for the Wizards. Tigers have controlled this second half, leading 2-0 late. They have just put the clamps down on Windsor here. Crooks, a nice little flick onto Harbaugh, up to Hudson. Hudson one-on-one, stepping through. Long shot and a fingertip grab by Ellingson. Nice save there on a great run again by Hudson. It's been a real menace here the last few minutes. Take another look at that one. See the long shot and the nice save with the fingertips. Back up in the midfield now. 15-13 remaining left. So a quarter of an hour left. And we might start seeing Windsor really push some numbers forward. You saw Ellingson come 40 yards out of his box to play that one. So we said Erie wins. They will have sole possession of second place here in the Tri-Valley, only trailing Holy Family. Now Pure Sherry will come in. We saw Pure Sherry come in with fresh legs in the first half and provide a good little spark. See what he does here in half number 2. The Tigers trying to keep some fresh legs there in the midfield. Chip in. Hollis easily will pick that one up. Hollis with some poise back there. Plays with a little bit of that same swagger that you saw Dylan Brown man that back line for 4 years from the Tigers. Play up on the near side. And just once again, Windsor's done a good job getting the ball into the Tiger third. Once they've got there, just have not been very polished. Wind starting to pick up here. The corner flag's really blowing, and it's at the back of Hollis, and he just sent a low one up to Higgins, and Higgins just dumps it out of bounds. Fitzjohn heads. Nemeth does his job as sweeper and knocks it away. Another little chip up for Crooks, and Crooks is tripped up at midfield, and he wanted a call. Already seen 4 yellows, though, from Windsor. Crooks really harassing the back line right there. Wizard ball too strong, and Nemeth again will send it up. Well played at the back. If that was miscued at all, Evan Harbaugh was right there. Good little flick on. Stepping up again is Fitzjohn. Tigers another little counter chance. And Evan Harbaugh, good speed, but man, he has been tracking the mileage today and couldn't quite step around that last Windsor defender. He turned on the afterburners too, but he has been playing pretty much box to box here in this second half. Now Windsor trying to counter. Chipped up, little one-on-one chance here, but when you got Nemeth, that's pretty much a win every time for Erie. Windsor still with possession, flicked on into the box, and Nemeth will clear that one. Blake Nemeth has done a remarkable job here tonight for the Tigers, as Wolver set to check back in here soon for Erie. Hollis will send this one low in toward the Tiger bench, and actually they'll blow that one dead and say there was a sub going on, so he's going to do that one again. He's got the wind at his back. I've seen him send a couple low ones, just trying to hook up with Higgins here, and scans the field, and this time still kind of another low one in towards that left side, but that was Hudson in there, and Hudson has been a menace here in half number 2 for the Wizards. Hudson in there again, just a little bit of a arm check, kind of held up play long enough for Erie to clean it up. And Erie continuing to just fight for the ball in their own third, pick it up and clean it out. Good job defensively. Wolver and Manuel set to check in. Coach Vigil wanting to keep midfield fresh here late in this one, especially with the job they've been tasked with and just kind of absorbing pressure, taking the ball back, and relieving that pressure. 10 minutes even left here in the second half. Tigers holding on to a 2-0 lead. Here against Windsor, trying to win their 9th game of the year. It would move them to 9-4 and 5-1 in the Tri-Valley. And this is not an easy league. Holy Family, Windsor, Loveland, Skyline, all in this league. And Skyline, Windsor may be a hair down where they normally are, but man, their floor is still pretty high up there, and Erie hanging with every team in the league this year, knocking off Loveland. Just a couple weeks ago, 2-1. But they will end the season, will the Tigers, against Frederick and Skyline. Crook set to send this one in. Chipped up and handled well by Ellingson. Now he's trying to hurry it up. And just a little too strong there. And Fitzjohn again, he's the 2-goal scorer. And look at that. Great poise by Fitzjohn. Drew some cheers from the crowd. Now Fitzjohn, another steal. And Jeff Fitzjohn on track to become our player of the game here. In fact, he pretty much has that sealed up. And he thought he was coming out for a breather, and instead he is not. Evan Hudson will come out. And so will Zach Higgins. And Fitzjohn put his hands on his knees and was like, oh, man, I need a breakout here. My work rate is extremely high. Another good clear there by Erie. Windsor really pushing forward. Tell you what, Crooks just lurking up there. If Crooks and Harbaugh just connect just right, they're going to have a wide open counter out the back, because Windsor now trying to push high enough, send enough bodies to at least get one back. They are running out of time to do so. Wolver send it across the field. 7 minutes remaining here in this one. Settled down, played across, and knocked out of bounds. And a throw in here deep in Erie territory for the Wizards. 6:48 and counting. Top of the box. Chipped away. Windsor wanted a call. Every header now from the back line from Windsor, since there's only 2 guys back there, needs to have some quality to it. Because Crooks continues to just hang back there waiting for a little mistake. And he wants a dozen goals. He's got sitting on 11 right now. Wolver up. Played back into the midfield. Good pass from that back line. Decent chance here for Windsor. And they cannot do anything with it. They just have not had that final pass with that special touch needed. And another foul and another set piece for Erie. And if you're Erie, just take your time here. As now we're under 6 minutes. Folkson's kind of a side spinner up, picked up by Windsor. Tigers were trying to push a couple numbers forward. They have to track back quickly here. Hedinger has it, top of the box, chips across net. And no one home on the back post, and that one will roll out for a goal kick. Wizards have sent in cross after cross tonight. It's either been dealt with by Erie or just misconnected on. Now Giordano will check into the game. Wind really picking up, and tell you what, it's just kind of swirling. The flags are blowing, or I guess maybe away from us toward the east, so kind of a crosswind on the field. Almost an optical illusion at the corner flags. It kind of looks like they're both blowing in toward midfield, but I think they're blowing away from the press box here. And so you keep seeing Hollis send low ones, trying to carve it underneath the win. 4.5 minutes left. Windsor trying to find something. Wide open man on the back post and bounced and caught by Hollis. No one marked Zacharisian, and he was wide open back there, and it was a good find. Just a little bit too strong of a cross. And there's another yellow card. So that was just the final straw. The Windsor player got up and started screaming at the ref. Some of the bench players or coaches, I think, were screaming at the ref. And that's another yellow. Might be to a different person, so because no red was given. So it wasn't a bench red. So I don't know, but it was a quick yellow card. So quick they didn't even stop the clock. And that one is deflected out for a corner.
Bench area of Windsor, 3:55 remaining in the second half.
In toward the middle and deflected out. Harbaugh on it, trying to get up to Crooks. He touches it. He's got a one-on-one. Crooks storming from midfield. Now it just has the goalie to beat. Shot, buries it in the back of the net. Zach Crooks makes it 3-0. It was a great pass up. You saw the touch, and it was off to the races. And then a classy finish there by Crooks to put it right in the back of the net. Hugs from his teammates. And that will put the icing on the cake. The sophomore with a dozen goals this season. Under a full moon, the Tigers are going to knock off the Wizards. What a game from Erie. We said that Windsor was pushing numbers forward, and if Erie got a slight touch and a little mistake, it'd be off to the races, and that's exactly what happened. And Crooks had that run free from midfield, and there's the 6th yellow card, and it's a yellow-red. So a red card on the 2nd yellow. That is Tim Bosch, as he is sent off. And the Windsor bench not happy, but the referee has tried to control this one throughout the night. Now it's a man down for Windsor. And I believe Chassa rules state that he also has to sit out the next game as well. So gets the red. He is gone from Windsor's next game.
Substitution for Erie into the lineup, number 8, Sam Duarte.
And Sam Duarte into the game as Zach Crooks will come out to a curtain call with 2.5 minutes left. The clock is stopped right now as the administration of cards is being handled by the official. And now the roll here. 2.5 minutes between Erie and a big win here over Windsor. This group of Erie, they're young, they're scrappy, and they are fun to watch. Shot in is cleared away. Tigers have just disposed of every opportunity that Windsor has tried to put into the box. Been a fantastic display of defensive acumen here tonight from the Tigers. Another cross, far side of the box, a little too strong. That was into the wind. And Hollis catches the clear. To the cheers of Tiger fans. High boot will ride the wind. Big bounce. And that one will go out for a Windsor throw in. 1:24 left. Erie's going to win their 9th game of the year. And fantastic program win here over the Wizards. A little chip for Harbaugh. Can he add to it? And he does! Evan Harbaugh makes it goal number 4 and puts an exclamation point on this one. And I think that was manual on the assist. It was a great chip, and Harbaugh just put it right into the back of the Ole Onion bag.
Erie goal, 107 remaining in the half. Goal scored by number 7, Evan Harbaugh. Assist number 12, Cole Manuel.
So for Harbaugh, that's his 4th goal of the year. And the Tigers pouring it on now. 60 seconds remaining in this one. Our camera will not really be able to be up for much longer because we have a soccer player running. He's going to run down to the field, so we're going to wrap things up here. But a 4-0 win for Erie. Started out as a nice evening. Turned a little bit chilly, but a special thanks to Connor McGeehan for being our cameraman up top. And what a night it was to be an Erie Tiger, as they will cruise to a 4-0 win over the Wizards. Well, it's 4-0 for now. Yep, that's how it should stay with 16 seconds left. Windsor will have one corner.
Corner kick for the Wizards.
Chip up. And danger temporarily averted. Tigers got to get rid of this one, and they do. Clock says zeros. Windsor puts it in, but after time expires, and Erie wins it 4-0. How about that, Tiger fans? That's going to do it for us here tonight. Thank you so much for joining in for some Tiger soccer. You see them coming away with 4 wins. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow to Erie Idol, and we'll have the football game on Friday as they head out to Niwot. For Connor, I'm Brandon. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, Tiger fans, I'll chirp at you later. Thank you, sir.